Okay. Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the daily Indian Express newspaper analysis for the date 9th November 2023, brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Okay, let's get into the today's newspaper analysis. So mentioned here are the list of articles which we are going to have the analysis in the upcoming slides. So have a look at it. Okay, let's get into the analysis of each and every topic one by one. Possible answer to farm fires. New rice varieties can replace Pusa 42, which is majorly being cultivated by the Punjab as well as the Haryana farmers. So since the news is related to the stubble burning news as well as it is related to crops, cultivation of crops to prohibit the stubble burning. Under prelims, it is related with economics and social development, that is sustainable development. Similarly, under GS paper 3, economic and development, under a topic called agriculture, through subtopic called major cropping patterns in various parts of the countries, it has been related. Okay, let's get into the details as well as other analysis of the news. So the Punjab government has announced that it is going to ban the cultivation of Pusa 44, a variety which has been broadly been cultivated by the Punjab farmers, and it is going to be banned from next year onwards in the state. And the stubble burning that is caused because of the Pusa 44 variety has been echoed by the Supreme Court judges in their recent observation on the stubble burnings. So why this Pusa 44 is causing huge havoc? By increasing the stubble burning in the NCR region is, see, the Pusa 44 variety is the long duration crops. That is, it will be taking at least 155 to 160 days to get matured so that it could be harvested. And it is being developed by the Delhi based Agriculture Research Institute. And so the cultivation, that is the seedling of the crops, will take place at mid-June, and the harvesting will be taking place at mid-October, so that there is lesser amount of time for clearing the land and making the land suitable for the next crop of cycle, that is the rabi cycle, which will be the crops of the rabi cycles will be cultivated. The cultivation for the rabi cycle will be starting during mid-November. So we could able to see that approximately 1 month gap is available between the harvesting of the Pusa 44 variety and then the cultivation of new crops during the rabi season. So this 1 month time gap is not sufficient for the farmers to clear the stubble that is arising because of the Pusa 44 crop varieties. So to clear away the stubble, what they are doing what the farmers are doing is that they are burning the stubbles so that it will be quickly vanished from the land, so that there will be ample amount of time where the new rabi crops will be planted. So this is the reason why the Pusa 44 is acting as one of the contributor for the stubble burning in the Punjab areas, and that is the reason why the Punjab has announced that it is going to ban the Pusa 44 crop varieties from next year onwards. But at the same time, even though it is taking more amount of time to get harvested, it has a positive of giving high yield in terms of the output. So what Indian Agriculture Research Institute, the Delhi based Agriculture Research Institute, has done is that they have bred a new variety by taking out the positives of Pusa 44 and then the CB 501 variety, where the high yield genetic traits have been derived from the Pusa 44 and the short duration genetic traits has been taken out from the CB 501 and they have been linked and they have been linked together and they created a new crop called PUSA 2090. So what is the specialities about this PUSA 2090 is that it could able to produce high yield at the shorter duration of time period. So this is what the speciality of it, so that the crop could be harvested earlier itself, so that the farmers will be having ample amount of time to take away the stubble that has been present in the land sustainably without doing any kind of unsustainable activities. So this is what the details of the news is about. So what is the reason behind the other reasons behind the stubble burning is, so the mechanization of the agricultural activities is also acting as one of the major reason for the stubble burning. Why? Because the mechanization has reached a level where the grains is being easily plugged out and the remaining stubble is being thrown away because of the process that has been provided in the mechanization, so that the machines which is harvesting the land could able to easily segregate the stubbles and the grains, and the grains will be collected separately, and then the stubbles are not collected separately, they have been dispersed on the land itself. So this is the one of the major reason. Second reason is less awareness among the farmers is also acting as one of the factors for contributory factors for the stubble burning. Thirdly, the Punjab's policy itself is acting as one of the hindrance for reducing the stubble burning. Why? Because the Punjab Preservation of Subsoil Water Act of 2009. So it is this act is has created a duration until under which time it has created certain time period. During the time period only the crop should be cultivated. Before that they should not be cultivated. Such kind of restrictions have been made in this act, as a result of which the farmers could not be able to plant the crops at the earlier period of time. That is the reason why it is getting delayed in harvesting the crops. And then expensive alternatives. So even though the government is providing subsidies for the farmers to acquire the machines like happy seeders and other things which is required for reducing the stubble burning, but the cost of the maintenance is so high, so that the farmers are hesitating to use these techniques. So these are all the reasons, other contributory factor for the stubble burning. So what is the impact of stubble burning is that it is first and foremost is the rising air pollution in Delhi and also across the NCR region, and also the potential loss of the raw material. See, these stubbles could be used as a potential alternative for making biofuel, which is being wasted because of the burning of these stubbles by the farmers. Thirdly, it destroys the soil ecosystem. Because of burning, the soil ecosystem will get disturbed, as a result of which it will make the soil less fertile when compared to the previous period before the burning of the crops. So this is what the reason as well as the impact of stubble burning. So what can be done is that, so the policy could be made where the diversification of the cropping will be encouraged. Such kind of diversifying of cropping patterns will ensure that the stubble burning incidence will be reduced, because the diversification of cropping pattern will reduce the dispersion of stubbles. Secondly, awareness creation among the farmers, and then providing incentives to the farmers to diversify their crop production. So these are all the things which can be done to reduce the stubble burning. So what need to be studied further is, we should know about what is PUSA decomposer and which organization has introduced it. Secondly, we should be aware of the green revolution, its objective, and what is the current scenario of its objective, whether it has achieved or not, and what are all the implications it has created. Thirdly, what is the different types of subsidies that has been given in India to support the farmers, and fourthly, we should also be aware of what is MSP, and then the PDS system in India. So these are all the other things which we need to be aware of. And with this, we have reached the end of this topic. Observatory spot red aurora over Ladakh. See, the Hanley as well as Merak Observatory, which is present in Ladakh, has captured the red aurora, which has occurred second time this year. Previously, it occurred during April 2023. And what the astronauts as well as the other physicians are saying is that, scientists are saying is that the next 2 years this region is going to observe more number of auroras, so that the observatory could able to capture more number of auroras in the upcoming years. So this is what the observation being made by the scientists analyzing the data of the atmosphere as well as the outer space. So how the news is linked with UPSC exam is, under prelims it is related to general science. Similarly, under mains it is related to GS paper 3 science and technology under a subtopic called awareness in the field of IT, space, computer, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology and issues relating to IPR. So what does this aurora is about? So aurora is nothing but a pattern of bright lights that is appearing on the sky because of the interaction between the sun's solar flare with the earth's magnetic field. Such kind of thing usually occur in the area which is closer to the polar poles. So this is what the aurora is about. And Hanley Observatory in Ladakh is the only dark sky reserve observatory in India. So what does this dark sky reserve observatory? According to International Dark Sky Association, which defines the dark sky reserve, what it is saying is that the land with a size of nearly 7,000 square kilometer, and then which has distinguishable quality of starry nights and nocturnal environment, and specifically protected for its scientific, natural as well as educational and cultural heritage or public employment activities. So such area will be called as dark sky reserve according to the International Dark Sky Association. And this area requires core area which has the clear sky, so that which enables the telescope to be able to view the sky without any kind of hindrance or disturbance in the atmosphere as well as in the sky. So why the observatory is present in Ladakh? Why it can't be placed in other part of the country? So Ladakh is having a certain unique features which enable this place to act as the dark sky reserve. So what is the features? See, it is present within the Changtang Wildlife Sanctuary, and it is the large arid area, and it is present at the high elevation, as well as it contains sparse amount of population. And as from here we could able to view a Milky Way galaxy without any hindrance in the atmosphere and also at the sky, because there is most of the time the sky is cloudless. So that is the unique characteristic of the Hanley in Ladakh. That is the reason why the observatory is being present in Ladakh. So what we need to study further is, we should know about what is the Indian Institute of Astrophysics is about, where it is present, and what is the linkage between the dark sky reserve as well as Indian Institute of Astrophysics. Secondly, there are nearly 20 dark sky reserves that is present across globes. One is in India, that is in Ladakh. Other 19 are present in different part of the globe, which we need to be aware of the places where it is present, so that it may be asked in match the following. Thirdly, what does this International Dark Sky Association is about, and what are all the things they are doing in relation to the astrophysics we should be aware of. So these are all the other things which we need to be aware of. So with this, we have reached the end of this topic. One year of Project CHEETAH. So the news is related to the project CHEETAH, that is a thing related to environment. Under prelims, it is related to general issues on environmental ecology, biodiversity and climate change. Similarly, under mains, it is related to conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and environmental impact assessment. So let's get into the news. So a year after the introduction of Project CHEETAH, what government is claiming is that it has reached the short-term success in 4 counts, that is 50% survival of the introduced cheetah, and then establishment of home range by the cheetah that has been introduced in wild. Thirdly, birth of cubs in Kuno National Park, and then the revenue generation for the local communities, those who are present in the Kuno areas. So this is what the claim made by the government in relation to the short-term success of the project CHEETAH. Okay, the news has analyzed the each and every achievement one by one. First, it is about survival, which the government claims that nearly 50% of survival has been, for 50% of the survival of the introduced cheetah in the wild. So we all know that the cheetahs has been introduced from the countries like Namibia as well as South Africa. So in Namibia, totally 8 cheetahs has been introduced. In that 3 are male cheetah and 5 is female cheetah. So initially, once they have been, once they are going to be reintroduced in the new area, means for first 1 to 2 months they need to be within the observation, that is within the cage or the bombhouse, and then after that only they should be left into the wild, so that in 1 year, that is 12 months, if they are into 2 months within the observatory, means that is within the observation of the scientist, means then it is the remaining 10 months only they need to be, they would have to be in the wild. So by calculating the 10 months, totally the Namibian cheetahs would have spent nearly 75 cheetah months totally, because there are totally 5 males as well, 3 males as well as 5 females, and if they are going to spend the 8 if they are going to spend the total amount of month in the wild, means if it is calculated as 75 cheetah month. But what they are saying is that they have spent only nearly 26 months totally, so which is way less than 75. Similarly, the South African cheetahs, that is 7 males as well as 5 females, which has been introduced from the South Africa, totally they need to have spent around 87 months in this year, but they have spent only 10.65 months, so which is very less compared to the standards. So since they are not entered into the wild for most number of months, so they are less prone to get died or get wounded up. So this is what the data is saying. And then the home range. So what they are claiming is that the cheetahs has created home range, but what the news article has mentioned is that only 3 cats, that is Asha, Gaurav as well as Shaurya, spent mere the 3 months at a stretch in the wild, and they have been brought back into Bomas, that is the observatory, since July, and they are in observatory only. So within this short duration of time, they could not able to establish the home range. So, thirdly, reproduction. So the goal of the project CHEETAH is to make the cheetahs to reproduce in the wild, but the only cheetahs that has reproduced is Jwala, which gave birth to 4 cubs inside the hunting boma, that is the observatory. And then the fourth achievement is the livelihood, where it is created jobs to the local communities that is present across the Kuno, and then it has appreciated the value of land rate across Kuno, and then till now no human as well as cheetah's conflict has been seen. So these are all the things being analyzed in the news articles. So what are all the compromise as well as mistakes being made in this project is that, see what Namibian, so when 3 of the Namibian cheetahs, that is the Shasa, which are the project's first casualty, that is it got died, it is the first cheetah to get died in the wild after it has been reintroduced from Namibia. And then Jwala and Savannah, these 3 cheetahs were actually raised in observatory only in Namibia itself. But to meet the hard deadline of the import, they have been hurriedly been given to India, so that since they have been born as well as brought up in the observatory, they could not able to survive in the wild. So this kind of situations has not been thoroughly explored. So in order to meet the deadline, they have been hurriedly been transported from the Namibia to India. And then in order to get the cheetahs from Namibia, what India said is that they will be supporting Namibia for sustainable utilization and management of biodiversity. So in response to it, India for the first time ever in CITES voting, it has changed its stand from abstaining against the voting against the Namibias in their elephant ivory trade. For the first time ever, India has changed its stand from abstaining against the vote. So this is what the thing which India did reply for the cheetah which Namibia has given to India. And then usually the female cheetah doesn't choose the male cheetah because of the close proximity of the genetic variation. They will be choosing only, the female cheetah will choose the male cheetah which has greater genetic variation. But without understanding this situation, if you are going to introduce the male and the female in the one observatory, means most of the time they will be fighting with each other, and sometimes it led to death of the female cheetah by the male cheetah. And they failed to understand the maggot infestation that has happened in the cheetah's radio collar at the earlier stage. So only after the maggot infestation got turned itself into a bigger wound only, and it glaringly made 1 minute. Yes, this maggot infestation could not able to be identified at the earlier stage, and it was identified only after later stage, where the infection has been turned itself into a bigger wound under the collar of the cheetahs. Usually the cheetahs used to develop a kind of sweater in the outer body, or the coat, or the cheetah coat. It is called as cheetah coat in their outer body during the winter monsoon season, which was not understood by the project experts at the earlier time, which in turn led to the development of coats during the monsoon time, which is one of the reason for the presence of the moisture in the outer part of the cheetah, which led to the infestation. So these kind of weather related conditions to the cheetahs, and then the early detection of the infestation, as well as the mating habits between the male as well as female cheetah has not been clearly understood, so that it led to some mistakes in the project CHEETAH. So this is one thing, and then let's have a look into what is the Kuno's carrying capacity. That is, what is the objective of this project CHEETAH is that it has changed from free, initially it was fixed as free, to create areas with free ranging breeding population to managing the meta population through assisted dispersal. So we all know that the forest areas are not connected, the forest areas are not connected with each other, so they have been in pockets only. So if cheetahs need to roam freely around the forest, means they need to be dispersed from one place to another frequently, so that they get habituated to the different parts, so that the genetic variation will get strengthened. So, and cheetal is the primary prey for the cheetah, and it is present in lesser amount during the initial period of time, and even now it is also present, even now it is also in lesser amount only when compared to the amount of cheetah which they are planning to introduce. For example, during 2006 it is only 5 cheetah has been present in per square kilometer, and it got increased to 36 during 2011, and then 52 in 2012, and then 69 in 2013, so on. And right now what they are saying is that they could be able to introduce only 27 cheetahs for the 3000 square kilometers because of the lesser availability of the cheetal. So this is what the thing is about during 2010 to 2013 period. After the project was revived in 2020, what they are saying is that the cheetal's density is 38 per square kilometer, which could sustain only 27 cheetahs, while a larger area of nearly 3200 square kilometer could be able to sustain 36 cheetahs, which is also lesser than the 50 cheetahs which has been planned to get introduced under the project. So what is the paradigm shift is that since Kuno cannot support the genetically self-sustaining population because of the lesser amount of prey that is present in the wild. So what is the other alternative is that the other alternative is the meta population management, that is regulated dispersal of the cheetahs into the wild. So what is this? First of all, we have to know what is this meta population. Meta population nothing but the populations of a population. So that this population of the cheetahs need to be scattered to different areas so that the genetic makeup will get strengthened. So this scattering of the cheetahs population should be made in a way that they need to be regulated, so that for the best example of using this method is the South Africa. The South Africa model of using meta population dispersal is how they are doing is that they will be translocating the animals from one place to, that is one fenced reserve to another fenced reserve manually. So this kind of manual dispersal of cheetahs from one fenced reserve to the other fenced reserve is called as assisted dispersal. So this is what the other alternatives right now been available instead of creating a genetically self-sustained cheetah population in the wild. So if this meta population management is going to get introduced, means then then the plan of linking the separate or the packets of forest areas will get slowed down, because this alternatives does not because if this alternative is going, the South African model is going to be introduced, means the linking of the forest areas or the linking of the packets of forest areas is not required. So it will the completion of those linking of those forest areas will get slowed down because of the alternate that is available in the name of South African model, that is the meta population management model. So what need to be studied further is, we should know about the project elephant. Secondly, we should also be aware of project cheetah, project tiger, and then Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So with this we have reached the end of this topic. Why Bhutan's first military operation in 140 years came against Indian insurgents. So since the news is related to the bilateral relationship between India and Bhutan, let's have a look in. It is related to prelims under current events of national and international importance. Similarly, under mains, it is related to GS paper 2, India and its neighborhood relations. See, the first time the Bhutan's monarch has visited the Assam, despite Assam shares 265 km with Bhutan. See, during 1990s, India's insurgents, those who are present in Assam, has made a camp in the southeast of Bhutan's. Why they have made a camp during the 1990s in southeast of Bhutan is because the insurgents, because of the heavy crackdown by the Indian military as well as the Assam state police, they could not able to escape to Bangladesh because of the pro-India's Awami government present during that time. So their only option is to escape to Bhutan. So that is the reason why, because of the crackdown by the militaries as well as the police officials, they escaped to Bhutan and they made a camp in the southeast of Bhutan and they launched the attack from there. Initially, the Bhutan doesn't bother about the issue, and during that time, initially Bhutan government did not give any kind of importance to the Indian insurgents, those who are present in southeast Bhutan. But later, when the time goes on, the relationship between India and Bhutan deteriorated because of presence of Indian insurgents in the southeast Bhutan, which India wants the Bhutan to act so that they get expelled from the land areas in southeast Bhutan. So Bhutans are not in a position to lose the India's friendship or the relationship because they are the highest trade partner for India, and also they are also one of highest grant provider to Bhutan. So that is the reason why the Bhutan acted swiftly from then onwards after the deterioration of the relationship between India and Bhutan. So what they have done is that initially they started a negotiation with the insurgents, but it did not bear any kind of fruitful results because the Bhutan's militaries doesn't have that kind of experience. So during 2003, they started an operation All Clear, where they go Bhutan military went all out to take down all the insurgents, that is those who are present in the southeast of Bhutan. Apart from the deterioration of relationship between with India, what are the other causes that made Bhutan to act against the Indian insurgents is the development activities in the southeast Bhutan got delayed because of the presence of the Indian insurgents, and then supply of arms to ethnic Nepalese Lotsampas, so which acted against the internal security of the Bhutan itself. So along with the India's relationship, these two factors are also acted as another thing which made the Bhutan to act against the Indian insurgents. So the Indian insurgents groups like United Liberation Front of Assam, National Democratic Friends of Bodoland, and Kamtapur Liberation Organization, these three insurgents groups have been present in the southeast of Bhutan, and during because of the military operation that is called as Operation All Clear, which was helped by India, they were all chucked out from the land areas in Bhutan. So this is what the news is, explanation as well as analysis of the news is. So this is what the result of the operation. Nearly 6,000 Royal Bhutan Army has launched the attack on the camps in all three camps of all the three outfits, and then the logistic as well as medical assistance, as I said, being given by Indian Army. So what they have said is that during that time, nearly some 650 insurgents have been either killed or captured, and the topmost leader of these three outfits were also been captured. So this is what the result of the operation, and this is what the analysis in relation to the news is. So what need to be studied further is we should know about the Bhutan map. Secondly, we should be aware of the India's Bhutan's relationship, and then the famous, that is the Doklam standoff. So these are all the other areas which we need to be aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. Notable exception. What is India's energy conservation building code is about? So since the news is related to India's energy conservation, under prelims it is related to economic and social development. Similarly, under mains GS paper 3, it is related to infrastructure, energy, ports, roads, airways, as well as railways, etc. So according to the World Energy Outlook, which was released by International Energy Agency, what it has said is that India is one of the few countries or the few emerging countries to have energy efficiency code, so that it could enable the country to act against the rising climate change incidents by ensuring that the buildings are in compliance with the energy efficiency code. So energy efficiency building code was first released by Ministry of Powers, Bureau of Energy Efficiency during 2007, and it got updated in 2017, and nearly 23 states have passed rules in compliance with the energy efficiency building code. And how it is crucial to India is that nearly 30% of energy consumption is being taken up by the buildings in India, and it will be going to it, and it is going to be 50% in 42, and then 40% of the building that will exist in the next 20 years are not built yet. So this energy conservation code will act as one of the major contributor for the climate mitigation activity which India is doing now. So what is this energy conservation building code is about? So it sets the standards for commercial buildings with the objective to save the 25 to 50% of energy use. So the code is applicable to hospitals, hotels, schools, shopping complex, multiplexes which have nearly 100 kilowatt or more of energy requirement or contract demand of 120 kilowatts. And 6 components are being involved in the code. First is the envelope, which includes walls, roofs, windows, lighting system, HVAC system, and then electric power system. These are all the systems being covered under the energy efficiency building code. And both the new as well as retrofitting buildings are also should also comply with this code, and the tag being given under this code is ECBC tag, ECBC plus tag, as well as super ECBC tag. So these tags are given according to the performance of the building respectively. If they are performing according greater than the expectation, means they will be given super energy efficiency building code tag, and then similarly the tag will be given according to their respective achievements. And then during 2017, when the ECBC was updated, it made new provisions by adding things like renewable energies integration, and then it has eased the compliance with the ECBC process, and then passive building designs are also being included under the code, and then the flexibilities of the design has also been eased, so that it will enable the people to comply with the ECBC code. So this is what the code is about. So where do the states stand? So as I said, nearly 23 states have notified the rules in compliance with the code. Out of the 23 states, only 15 states have notified rules in compliance with the updated 2017 code. If they are going to delay, means if the states are going to delay, means the states are going to lose out from the benefits of that is arising out of the energy efficiency. And what the data is saying is that, so the Gujarat can save, till now the Gujarat has not yet notified their rules to comply with the code. So if the Gujarat can save nearly 83 tetrawatt hours of energy by 2030 if they are going to comply with ECBC. So such is the situation of the state in relation to the ECBC code. So what need to be studied further is we should know about the India's energy mix and India's renewable energy scheme and India's Panchamrit promise that has been made in United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Thirdly, we should be aware of how the power is being regulated in India. So these are all the other things which we need to be aware of, and with this we have reached the end of this topic. So let's have a look into today's practice prelims question. So mentioned on the board are the today's practice prelims question. I want those students, those who are watching this session online, please do comment the option point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. Okay, with this we have reached the end of today's session. Please do like, comment as well as subscribe to the Ganesh IAS YouTube channel so that you get notified with the future current affair sessions that will be brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Thank you.